the media spent all week trying to sell us a Unai Emery revenge story, but what we actually got was a reality check. 4-1 against the top side isn't luck, it's a statement. Let's talk about how Arsenal dismantle them. We are trying to help build this channel for fans who want sensible, respectful debate, not just shouting. If you're tired of the mainstream nonsense and want a place to talk Arsenal properly, join the community and subscribe. So before we get into this proper, let me introduce my guest. He's the biggest and most gorgeous Scotsman, a giant amongst dwarves, Mark from the Ashburton Grove and in the North Bank. How are you doing, bro?
I'm good. Happy New Year to you, Richard. And that is the best introduction I've ever had in my life, bro. I'm saving this. I'm clipping this. I'm clipping it. But I hope you're good, bro.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I hope you had a good New Year, bro, and the family's well. And thanks so much for having me on, Richard. I'm really appreciate it, bro.
No, it's a pleasure, mate. So let's start off. I mean, because the build up to this game there was a lot, especially in the media, focusing on Unai Emery, the revenge arc, and of course that putting the pressure on Arsenal because they need to win against the top side to really prove that they can go and win a league title. How did you personally feel in the build up to this?
Do you know what? I don't see
and with that narrative.
Yes. Do you know what? The narratives out of mainstream medias are actually getting on my nerves at this moment in time, Richard. Anything at all to do with Arsenal, it just feels like we get played down all the time. And this Emery Arteta nonsense is like it is, honestly, it's absolute gibberish. There's no need for it whatsoever. There's absolutely no need for it. And as far as I'm concerned, see, the only person like Aston Villa that I've got a grudge against is that freaking goalkeeper. Out with that, Richard. I'm not buying into this. And the mainstream media need to stop this nonsense. They really, really do need to stop this nonsense. Like, well, I know we're going to dive into it, but Arsenal demolished Villa, who's just won 11 games on the bounce. They absolutely demolished them. And the narrative coming out of the mainstream media was Jokeres, and you never scored again. Like, just leave us alone. Like, go and talk about Chelsea, go and talk about someone else. Like, Richard, honestly, I'm getting really fed up with the mainstream media, mate. I'm sorry, I know that's a bit of a monologue and a rant, but they are absolutely doing my head in, mate.
No, I think it's a fair thing. They're trying to build stories that don't exist. Just before we carry on, evening, Emerson. Glad to see you, and happy New Year to you and all your friends in Barbados and everywhere. So,
happy New Year, Emerson.
Mark. Yeah. So, sort of the second topic I want to look at is team news and the starting lineup. Well, we got the news quite early, but Declan Rice had a knee injury and wasn't going to be in. How did that make you feel, and how did it make you feel? I've got the lineup on the.
Yeah, do you know what, Richard?
Here, so.
Yeah, the problem that I had, like, the lineup was good, right? But see, the problem I had, right, and sitting thinking about it and trying to, I still have not processed the fact that Declan Rice is injured. One, he never gets injured. But Declan Rice is playing right back for Arsenal because our right backs are injured. And Declan Rice picks up an injury. Make that make sense, mate. It's just like, what is going on? So, before the game, I saw the news. Let's not kid ourselves. Declan Rice not being in the actual lineup, Richard, is arguably one of the best midfielders in the world at this moment in time. He's arguably the best midfielder in the world. So for me, it was a massive shock. The actual lineup itself, it was great to see Timber come back. It was great to see Gabriel start. Hincapié's been fantastic at left back. Zubimendi and Mourinho in the midfield with Odegaard, who was on form. I was happy with that. We'll pick up on Trossard. We need to speak about that, Richard, because that was a howler by you. You were dropping this guy. You were dropping him, and you're not getting away with it. And yeah, Saka and Joker up top. I was actually, do you know what? It was all expected. The only name that would have been different for me would have been Declan Rice for Mourinho if you had been fit. But the lineup itself is fantastic, mate.
Yeah, fair enough. And yeah, I did have Martinelli over Trossard, but I felt that with the inclusion of Beauregard or Bogard at the back for Villa, which is what I thought it would be, Martinelli's pace would be a better option, but I turned out to be wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong.
See, in fairness, Richard, I don't think you would have been wrong. I think Martinelli would have done an absolutely amazing job if he was on as well, but Trossard was pretty outstanding. So I'm only pulling your leg on that one. It was you had very good logic why you were putting Martinelli in, and we discussed it prior to the game. So you were right. I'm just pulling your leg a bit, mate. Nothing more.
Yeah, no, I know. But I think if you have to be able to defend your while you make those things, and it can't be just because that's what I'd go with. You've got that doesn't make any sense. What did you think from on Villa's setup? I mean, of course they had injury suspensions and players at AFCON, but were you surprised that John McGinn didn't start in that midfield? Or were there any other players there you thought he might have used beforehand?
No, Matty Cash being out was massive for them, mate. So that one, and again, that's going back to your Martinelli point. Matty Cash being out, he's been out absolutely outstanding. So I was absolutely delighted with that one. And yeah, I was. Do you know what? At the start, Onana is obviously caused us in the first half a massive threat. And Morgan Rogers, I just believe he is actually the complete real deal. I really think he is a complete and utter real deal. So that he's a concern for me anytime that you're playing. But I don't know what choices of Villa had or what they could have done at all. Through the right backs and that, I don't know them well enough to be falling for that, but the setup is pretty. It worked for 45 minutes, Richard. That's what we'd say. I'd give them credit for that, and it worked for 45 minutes.
Yeah. So getting into the first half, I mean, to me it seemed a bit chaotic, but how. And we'll go into specific parts as well. But how did you see the overall first half?
Yeah, the first half for me the first half for me, Richard, was really, I would say, completely what I would expect from an Aston Villa side at the Emirates. They're trying to catch in transition. That's exactly the way that they play football away from home, and that's exactly what we saw in the first half. Gyökeres doesn't tap the ball well enough, gets dispossessed, and bang, they're on a break, and probably, in all honesty, should be 1-0 up through Ollie Watkins. That chance was massive. I think it came off his heel rather than his side foot as he hit it, and that's why he dragged it wide. But it is exactly what I would expect. Villa are never ever going to come to the Emirates Stadium and open up, Richard. They've not done that over the last couple of seasons playing us, and they've had good results against us. Obviously at the Emirates, they have won. They have won there. So I just felt the first half was exactly the way that Emery would have wanted it. I think Emery, without getting a goal, I think Emery was probably won the first half, if you could say that, because it's exactly what he wanted. And it was chaotic, as you said, by Arsenal.
Yes.
It was just completely chaotic by us. So yeah, it was completely that, mate. And they probably would have been a lot more happier at half time than we would have been.
Two Gyökeres misses, and it was Gyökeres's mistake for the Watkins
chance.
What did you think of Gyökeres's first half performance? Should he have been putting at least one of those chances?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the header was a difficult one. He threw himself at it, and he just needed like a fine touch on it, and he probably got too good a contact on the ball, and hence the reason that it went wide. It's not. I would say there were half chances, Richard, to be honest. I wouldn't say like the full blown, and I'm not making excuses for Gyökeres, but it's not like they were absolute gilt edge opportunities, in my opinion, and it was fantastic, like his movement to get onto the header. Gyökeres for me, just like I don't want to ramble away from it. He needs that goal. Like, his confidence is just draining out of him, and you can kind of see that. And yeah, trapping the ball for Ollie Watkins, that mistake for Ollie Watkins' chance. I think it was Rodgers that got on the end of it and put it through to Ollie, who obviously dragged it wide. He should be trapping that ball better. He should be keeping that ball. And I don't care. He's a strong lad. So he maybe needs to kind of pull himself back and try to do the basics properly, and it'll come for him. I'm not overly concerned for him. It will come. I just think he's trying far too hard, Richard. If that makes sense. I mean,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? He's just
yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you frozen, Mark, or are you still there?
No, I'm still here, mate. I think you're lagging a little bit. Yes, I think you're lagging a little bit.
I might have been lagging a bit. I've got the signal back. So what with the way we set up, we were quite on a high press, and we had Marino pushing quite high next to Gyökeres, and Villa seemed to find some joy, especially Onana breaking through that midfield and getting past Marino and on several occasions.
Yeah,
Onana went down, and Arteta had a quick tactical talk to them, and after that, Marino stopped back. But was it that tactical switch, or was it the fact that Onana was actually injured and he had to come off at the end during the half time? They made a sub. What do you think in that was more of a
I think
an influence?
I think the tactical switch was like 100%, Richard. Onana was causing Arsenal absolutely, like he was winning that midfield battle, and as you say, with Mourinho being too far, well, forward up, almost up beside Gyökeres, which again, maybe if you played Miles left back, he would have inverted into like Mourinho's space, and that would have been a bit more solid, a bit more an extra body in midfield for Arsenal. But I felt that it could have been, I think it was a mixture of both. And Nana was having an extremely good game, Richard, in the first half before he went off. And if I'm being honest, it was actually a blessing for Arsenal that he actually did get substituted at half time.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, at half time, and coming out for a second half, what were your feelings, and what did you think the atmosphere in the Emirates was like? Did you get a sense of nerves or frustration?
I think both,
with
Richard.
that?
Yeah, I think definitely 100% both, Richard. I think there was definitely nerves and frustration. If we're being honest, if anyone had to went in at half time in front, it would have been Aston Villa. We just didn't look like we were fully 100% on it. And I'll tell you, I don't know if he's given him the hairdryer treatment, he made tweaks at half time or whatever it was. But yeah, just in the stadium, you could kind of feel the nerves off the fans. And certainly, I think as we know how good Arsenal are, Richard, we watch them week in, week out. So we know that we could produce better than that. We could produce better than that. So yeah, I think the frustration and nerves are both there, Richard, if I'm being perfectly honest. I certainly felt that. So I'm sure it was inside the ground as well.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I was reasonably, I was probably relaxed, but there was a sense of relief for me that we were all level at the break, and Villa weren't possibly one or two to the good at that point. But
yeah,
we come out second half, and almost immediately we get a little break down the right. The ball goes is played off a Villa player, and it's a corner. And then of course the inevitable happens. Saka swings it in. Martinez tries to claim, and it comes off Big Gabby. Poor goal. Of course, there's a VAR check. And what did you feel at that moment that goal in? Were you worried it was going to get ruled out?
No, see, when you saw the replays back, Richard, Gabriel doesn't do a single thing wrong. And if anything, if there's a foul that actually takes place, it's Martinez against Gabriel. He's actually pulling his shirt and pulling him, trying to pull him down. So I didn't feel when the VAR checks were going on that it would have been knocked off. But they had to knock that off. I just think that, like, you may as well just give up, like, corner kicks and goalkeepers touching a goalkeeper, because like it was pathetic, Richard. It was absolutely pathetic. But the end of the day, Martinez came out, absolutely had an absolute howler. He is the one that fouls Gabriel. He tries to catch the ball. He can't catch it. It hits Gabriel. It goes into the back of the net. Martinez, I am going to do a podcast without swearing, so I'm not going to call you the name that I want to call you. I severely dislike you, and I love these moments that you give Arsenal. I really love them. So it's the best way I could possibly put it, Richard. It was never a foul when the goal should 100% have stood.
No, that's fair enough, and thank you. I will just say something to if there's anyone putting comments in, I can't see the comments at the moment. There's an error on my end on StreamYard, so I'm not getting any messages through. But if you're commenting, thank you, we appreciate it. And as soon as it's sorted my end, I will get through and bring them up and go through them. So
I'll do it as well.
A few minutes later,
There's no
Yeah,
messages
that's
coming through,
what.
so I don't know if it's a fault on the whole thing. But if they do come up, I can show
Yeah,
them as well.
I've got an error message coming up, so it's saying
I'll be all right.
wait a moment and then try again, which I keep doing. So we get on to the second goal. Now the ball's played out, and we're pressing. The ball's played out from defence to Sancho. Odegaard, Rob Sancho. He drops drops your shoulder, gives him a bit of space, and threads the ball through to Zubamendi. What were your feelings once that goal in, and what did what were your personal views on that actual goal?
Do you know what? It was absolutely fantastic, Richard. And yes, do you know what? It was overexcitement, I would say, is the best way that I could describe it when that second goal goes in. Martin Odegaard. Second game in a row, absolute played a blinder, mate. That pass and that way to pass through to Zubamendi and the intelligence of Zubamendi as well for the run. But Martin held it. If you watch it back, Richard, he held it and he held it just to pick the precise moment for that to open up to get through. And the finish by Zubamendi was like, he actually chips it over Martinez's foot. So he knows not just like up first, the goal actually looks like he's just slotted into the bottom right-hand corner. But if you watch it back again, Martinez is flying out and Zubamendi's got the intelligence just to give it just a little lob, just over his foot, and then it goes into the bottom corner. It was absolutely fantastic. What a goal. What a goal. And this is what my football club could do. It was fantastic, mate. And
did you sense it? I mean, I was ecstatic, but did you sense from that moment on that we got the taste of blood in our nostrils, and we could sense that they were actually nervous, and I think especially from the fan side of it, there was the noise and intensity level from the crowd lifted. But did you think the players actually sensed it as well, or were they feeding from the fans?
Yeah, I think that like the fans did have a part to play, and I do want to pick up on the fans before the end of the game. But yeah, they did. At that point, you are thinking it is game over. It was brilliant. I mean, Aston Villa are just on the back of a 11-game win, the best run that they've had for 111 years or something, I read. So, and we're 2-0 up against them. But Richard, I've been saying going into this, and I've been saying on previous podcasts, and I'm absolutely meaning it. You don't peak at the start of the season. You don't peak in August. You don't peak in September. It's this time of year when you want to start peaking and go through the gears and really start moving. And I think Arsenal were a way to do that. And I've been saying for a while, someone is about to get an absolute hiding from us. Someone is going to get an absolute doing, like 4 fights from Arsenal. It is coming. You could sense it, and everything that we're doing is absolutely bang on, Richard. It's absolutely bang on. So when we went 2-0 up, I'm instantly looking at, I think we were 5 goals behind Manchester City before the game kicked off. And I instantly start thinking of the 5 goals. It was like, start dropping these goals down. To try and get that goal difference back down between us and Man City, which we did. We pulled it back. It was disappointing that they got a goal, but I'm sure you'll dive into that.
Yeah. So, I mean, when we come on to the third goal, we get it out on the left, and it's Hincapié, and he sends the ball back into Odegaard, who sends it into the box, and it's Villa under pressure, don't clear it, and it falls to Trossard, and a sublime finish. I mean, me and Des were, and in the chat at that point, were having a discussion about should we be carrying on the way we were going, or should we be shutting up shop? And I was of the opinion that we should be going for the pro, and that sitting back against a very good Villa side wasn't the way to go, even at 3-0 up. What were your overall opinions? A, on the goal. B, why VAR took so long, and C, what did was it the right way to go? Still go for the throat.
Yeah, no, 100%, Richard. First of all, VAR tried absolutely everything within its power to cut that goal off. I mean, they checked absolutely. I think there was 2 offsides. They were checking everything to cut that off, and couldn't. And it was an absolute screamer. I want to go for the kill, bro. I really, again, like Trossard hit that. You don't score many goals outside the box, Richard. But we've started to pick that up over the last couple of games, and players are hitting them outside the box, and fair play to them because it's working. That's 3 goals now outside the box, like 20-25 yards out, mate. So it's an absolute screamer. But again, Richard, I was like you. I was like, I don't want to defend. I don't want to shut up shop, see this through. I know we've got important games coming up, and you have to watch the minutes, like the legs, save a bit of energy, but not, absolutely not. Get this statement win and send a message to the whole entire Premier League. And that's exactly what they did, Richard. That's exactly what they did. The only concern that I had after watching it back on a few occasions, and I'm sure I'd like to message you, you see Arsenal celebrate the first goal, all players run to Gabriel. You see them run to... Sorry, who got the second goal again?
It was Zubimendi. Zubi, wasn't it?
Zubimendi. Sorry, just slipped my head. Zubimendi. Everybody ran to him. When you watch Jesus, which is to touch on, score the 4th goal, everybody ran to him. But when you watch the 3rd goal and Trossard goal, Trossard's the only person that runs over towards the corner flag. I'm not sure if I'm reading too much into it, Richard, but I possibly believe that he could be on his way.
But possibly, I mean, I thought it might be to do with the fact that VAR, and for me, I was expecting them to go, because in that phase, when that phase started, Timber got tackled in the box and it looked like a penalty, and I was expecting them to try to go back, look at that, and award a penalty just so they could stop us getting that 3rd goal. But yeah, but once it did go in, I mean, I think when it takes that long, that destroys the moment, because you've already celebrated, and then it's such a nervous rate. The second celebration was quite a damp squid. But we'll get straight into this, because I felt the Zubi one and this one were the best 2 goals of the evening. And I was very torn between which was the actual best one. This one starts off in our bottom, inside our left-hand side of our box, with us playing the ball about. There's a loft pass from Hincapié to Odegaard, who flicks the ball with the outside of his foot into Zubamendi's pass, and Zubamendi wins his 50-50, and then it gets on to Trossard and into who gets it into Jesus, and Jesus produces almost an identical finish to Trossard. What was your opinions on the goal, and what were your thoughts the precise moment we went 4-0 up?
Do you know what, Richard? Like, on the actual goal, you're absolutely right. The play was absolutely phenomenal, and Zubimendi is just, I think that was his best game in an Arsenal shirt. I give him man of the match, that was my opinion. I thought he was absolutely outstanding, but the whole movement, how quick we hit them on transition was frightening. And I'm going to be honest, Richard. I put a tweet out like a couple of months ago saying, Jesus, I think you've still got something to offer before the end of the season. And I really do, Richard. I think Jesus could take us towards this title. I think we'll need all our players. We're going to need Gyökeres, Jesus, Havertz. We need all of them. And I bet Jesus playing like that is just unbelievable. The finish was, oh man. And it was 2 days off a year since he scored his last goal due to obviously the ACL that he had. So Richard, I didn't have a tear, but do you know what? I was absolutely full of delight for him. Like if I could have picked a player to score, I would pick Gyökeres to score because I'm desperate for him to get his confidence back for the team, etc. But out with him, if I could pick any player that I would want to score like that, I would 1,000,000% be Jesus. He's went through a horrid time, and he's came off the bench twice, once against Wales, caused the own goal in that one, and then he's came in on this game and he scored an absolute beauty, mate. I just could not be more happier for the guy.
Yeah, I was pleased because it was Brentford his last goal, and I think that was I think, and he not long after that he got injured again, and it was so it's been quite a long time. Before we get to Villa's consolation goal, I want to talk about a moment that I personally think it's world-class keeping, but Watkins heads the ball, it hits the post, comes back out, McGinn gets his shot away, Ray gets something on it, and then he flicks it away from McGinn and the defenders clear it. Is that Ray a brilliance, or is that McGinn just not messing his shot up?
It's a bit of both, Richard, if I'm being honest, because I have watched it back on numerous occasions. David Raya is absolutely brilliant. The saves that he's pulling out at this moment in time are absolutely incredible. And we've been preaching about how good that this goalkeeper is. For McGinn, I think McGinn thinks he just has to hit the target and he scores. And it just, so on that element or that side there, you've got to say, unbelievable, David Raya. But at the same time, McGinn had like the whole goal to aim at. And for me, Richard, he should be burying that. That is like a really easy opportunity to score, in my opinion. However, at the same time, I don't want to take anything away from David Raya. It was absolutely outstanding. And Richard, we've said that it's not the first time he's done it. It's not the first time. Yeah. It was absolutely brilliant. But for me, if John McGinn puts that in the left-hand corner, Raya cannot get to it. It's just impossible. So there is a bit on John McGinn's side where it is bad, but at the same time, he will not be expecting David Raya to get back. I mean, he's maybe just took a snapshot at it, like just hit it straight away thinking he's not got any time. And Raya's got there to save it. It's brilliance, but there is an element of both, Richard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So we get on to Villa's consolation. We'd made a few changes. White, Madueke had come on, and Norgard, and then to close the game out, Marlon goes past all of them, and it's a mixture of his pass, Saliba's toe that puts it through Raya's leg onto the post and into Watkins' path, who has an empty net to tap into. Could we have defended that better?
100%. I think Saliba has to do better. To be in all honesty, I think he really does have to do better. But Richard, when you watch that go back, and I've watched it back a few times, it's the most flukiest or luckiest goal that you'll ever see. the sequence, Marlon is never in control of that ball. Like at no given point, he's just battling and trying to win it. He's just never in control of it. It's like the most flukiest goal that you could ever imagine. And as you say, when he releases a shot that hits the post, it goes through Rhea's legs, but it comes off the Saliba. It's just, yeah, there's got to be an element of, I think Saliba should be stronger and should do better. But it's just one fluky goal, mate. It really was. And Hincapié almost stopped Watkins from scoring. Although you had an empty goal, he pre-set later. And if you had just anticipated maybe just a second beforehand, Hincapié might have actually got in there to block that and for it not to go in. But for me, it was just a fluke goal, mate. It was just, yeah. If that was done 100 times, you'd probably only score it twice.
Yeah. So before we get into players, standout performers, and ratings, I want to look at Darren England, the ref. There were numerous times in the first half time wasting he didn't do anything about, but I think his biggest mistake and one that he should be slated for is the Marino incident in the second half, where he's clearly pulled Rodgers back, and he's already on the yellow and should be a second yellow and off. Did you see that as a second yellow? And do you think actually Darren England had a horrendous game in the middle of the park?
Well, first of all, it was a second yellow. It's a red card, and let's not kid ourselves. Stonewall. So that decision was absolutely horrendous. Obviously, VAR can't come in because it's only a yellow, so they can't get involved in it. And it's right, but it was a horrendous decision, Richard. Absolutely horrendous. Mourinho should have been off. Overall, you know what? I didn't normally. Normally, if I give like a referee a bad review, it's because that he's really stood out and been highlighted through horrendous decisions and etc. And you're right about the time wasting, but it does go on in a lot of games. But I didn't honestly feel that I was watching the game and it was about the referee. Some of the games that we've watched, you could see Michael Oliver, and you just know it's got to be about him. It's absolutely got to be about Michael Oliver, and there's a few other dodgy refs out there. For me, I did. Maybe that's biased because Arsenal hammered Villa. So, but yeah, to going back, Richard, let's be honest here. It was a stonewall red card.
Yeah, no, I felt that, and I think we got away with one. I don't think it would have changed the result, but we should have been down to 10 men from that point onwards. Right, so we do this in two three of your players. Pick three players to that were standout performances, and then we'll go into player ratings and your and man of the match.
Yeah, Zubimendi, obviously. It's hard to pick just three. Odegaard, also, and then I'm going to give it to like my favourite player, who just absolutely love Big Gabriel.
That's fair enough. I can understand that. So right, we'll do player ratings and then get your man of the match. So we'll start off with Raya in goal.
So, do you know what, Richard? You didn't have loads and loads to do during the game, but his sharpness and he's always switched on. I'm going to give him a solid 7, just because he never had to make that many saves, but he did have that save from obviously McGinn. He wasn't up fault for the goal. It was so lucky, like we said, that a solid 7 from me, mate.
Yeah, I agree with that. So we go to Timber at right back.
Timber is just like the best right back in the world for me. I'm like absolutely. I just I'm running out of words for him, Richard. If I'm being honest, I think he's outstanding. He was the one that set up Trossard, if I'm not mistaken, for Trossard's goal. He is phenomenal. I just love this guy. I really do love him. I'm going to give him an 8, solid as ever. And just, do you know what? You just expect that from Timber. You just expect these kind of displays from Timber.
Yeah, he is just slowly be one of the top top 5, possibly top 10. If you could name 5 other right backs in the world that are better than him, but he's definitely in that category of the best right backs in the world at the moment. Let's go to Saliba.
Saliba, I'm going to give a 7. He is up fault for the goal. He should do better. He should be stronger in that situation. But again, it was lucky. I just felt it was a lucky goal, Richard. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. I'm not going to be too harsh on William. The rest of the game, he was solid.
Yeah. Our Brazilian back, he came back in the Brighton game, 20 minutes, lasted 75 minutes in this game. Big Gabby, what's your rating for him?
Absolutely fantastic. Great to see him back, right back in amongst the goals. You notice Big Gabby drops up the side, Richard, and the set piece of goals kind of dry up. Gabby comes back, bang, instantly, they're there again. It's no fluke. Solid, never put a foot wrong, got his goal. I'm going to give Big Gabby a 9.
Brilliant. We'll go to left back, Hincapié.
Yep, Hincapié was solid. Yeah, totally solid, Richard. Totally solid. An 8, I'd give Hincapié. There's like this guy is almost forcing his way into the side. Like he is forcing his way into the side where Calafiori might have something to worry about, and Miles Skelly certainly has something to worry about because he is, for me, he's producing, mate. He really is producing.
Okay, brilliant. We're going to Martin Zubimendi, our supposed number 6, though he doesn't seem to play that DM role like a normal defensive midfielder, does he?
No, he doesn't at all. It's by far his best game in an Arsenal shirt, and I'm not saying that the previous games are poor. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Brilliant finish. Absolutely. Imagine your DM creating a finish like that. It's ridiculous. The run was fantastic. He was outstanding the whole entire game, Richard. And I guess I'm going to give away my man of the match. I have to give him a 10. He was absolutely solid.
Yeah, I can see why you give him because he was involved in the Jesus. He was involved in he was involved in that one, and he had a brilliant performance. I can understand that. We'll move on to Mikel Merino.
Yeah, he's lucky not to get sent off, and it was a bit of stupidity, to be honest. Again, you're right, he kind of pushed up a lot. He was too advanced maybe for what we needed in the first half. Second half, you know what? You do get a solid performance out of Mourinho. I'm going to give him a 7. I don't think it was like one of his best games. Certainly wasn't one of his worst games. It's just probably average. And thank God he didn't get sent off, mate.
Yeah, I think it was probably the physicality of Villa's midfield, but probably undid him for that role. We'll get on to our captain, being blighted by injuries, has come back. And he's put in some solid performances recently. What would you rate him today?
I thought, Richard, you know what? He's been absolutely outstanding the last 2 games, and I mean absolutely outstanding. I think I gave him man of the match against Brighton, and it's the only thing that, like, Zubimendi was so freaking good, or I would have been given Odegaard man of the match in this. He was absolutely. He's back to like his best, Richard, and like the last 2 games, he's just been back to that very high standard. I'm going to give him a solid 9. The way that see that for that goal, I mean, he was involved in all of it, all the goals, but the way that he threads that ball through to Zubimendi and the timing, he could have released Zubimendi earlier, and he held up just to get the perfect line for the ball, and the way to pass was phenomenal. Martin playing like this. City have just scored. No, it's just been reeled off. Yeah, sorry, offside flag. Yeah, Martin playing like this is just peaking at the right time for me, Richard. And we need our captain to be producing performances like this for us to go on and win Premier League. So solid 9 for me. And brilliant again from Martin.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I thought he had a brilliant game. So we get into our front three. We'll start with Saka.
Yeah,
on the right.
Do you know what? Yes, maybe I'm being harsh, but I'm going to give Saka a 7. I'm going to give him a 7, Richard. I don't see there wasn't one of his best games, mate, to be honest. And against Brighton, I felt he was absolutely fantastic, but I didn't against Villa. I really didn't like. I didn't feel like he was there.
Yeah, I found it quite strange because we seem to a lot of our attacks it came down Trossard's side, and unusually we seem to not give Saka anything on that side. I mean, he got an assist for the Gabriel goal, and it was him who made him a nuisance of himself to the defenders on Trossard's goal. But other than that, he did seem quiet. So I can quite understand why you thought he was by his high standard that it was a below average performance.
Do you know what, Richard? It could also be, like, as you highlight before the game, it could also be the fact that you've got Matty Cash out. So maybe that was a tactic by Arteta to go more down the left-hand side rather than the right. So maybe that could have affected, like, through Saka's game, mate. So, but yeah, it was an average game for him. It wasn't anything to write home about.
No, and that's fair enough. When we get into Gyökeres.
Yeah, Gyökeres, I'm going to have to give him a 7. Like, his work rates there, Richard, he's just trying too hard. Really trying too hard. And you know what? I just wonder, like, I don't know if it would do him any good at all. Like, if it would do him good or it wouldn't, if he just gets dropped for a couple of games. And just let him to like rethink. Like, he's just forcing it, Richard. It's not happening naturally. I mean, the effort for the diving header was absolutely phenomenal. I really did like his movement and his work rate. It's all there, but as I say, he's just forcing it, Richard. And he lost the ball, which I think it was to Morgan Rogers, but set up Ollie Watkins, and we could have been 1-0 down through that. So I'm not going to be over harsh with him, but a 7. I can't give him more than that, Richard.
That's fair enough. We'll get into the subs. Trossard first, isn't it? I nearly forgot Trossard.
Trossard, second game on the trot, absolutely phenomenal again. I give this guy so much stick at times, and he is just massively, like, his form's picked up, and what he's doing to players is just, he's killing them out there, Richard. I'm going to have to give him a 9. He was absolutely on the money, and through again, maybe that's a tactic. Arteta go down the left rather than go down the right. For me, just brilliant, absolutely like a 9. Best I can say.
I mean,
Great goal,
he's had
fantastic.
he's had nine goal involvements in 15 games this season. So that tells you what sort of things it. So we'll get into the subs. The only two that I'm not going to give any ask you to give any ratings to are Madueke and White, because I don't believe they were on the bench on the pitch long enough. So we've got Lewis Skelly coming on for Gabriel.
Yeah, and Cappy going in. So again, Richard, never done. I mean, I don't know what kind of ranking could you give subs?
Well,
wasn't too much. I think
it's either average or rated. Yeah, it's either average or if they did something, you give them better than average. But if they didn't do much,
I think a 6, Richard. That's probably the best.
Yeah,
like just an average score. Nothing untoward and nothing brilliant. So,
Norgard,
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much same. I would probably say a 6 for him as well, mate. He's a tidy little player. I do like Norgard, and I do, and it's a great. He is a great addition into our squad and somebody that you could rely on when he to come on and like do a job for you. So good player, but again, same as Miles. So like not too many things are flashing back to my head that he done in the game. So it's all 6.
No, that's fair enough. So then we get into a player that I thought we might sell in January, and I thought with the injuries, maybe his career was on the downward slope. Gabriel Jesus, since he's come back, and he's looked sharp, he's looked good, and he capped it off with a goal tonight. What sort of rating are you going to give him?
Mate, I have to, and only because he's a substitute, I'm going to give him an 8. And it's only because he was a substitute. Had to been on the park and he produced that, even without the goal, he was just causing absolute havoc. But the goal, it's like one of the brilliant moments in life, Richard, for me, seeing someone that's went through such a torrid time and then he comes back and 55 seconds after he comes on the park, he's producing that. Absolutely phenomenal, mate. So, solid 8, and it's only because he's a substitute. If he wasn't a substitute, who knows, he might have been 10.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting very close to the end, but considering sort of the build up to this game and this the narrative on needing to make a statement win, not beating the top 5 sides this season, did that make beating Emery's Villa more satisfying? And did we actually was this an actual statement win, in your opinion?
100%, Richard. Of course, it's an absolute statement win. Manchester City are playing Sunderland right now, and they'll be feeling it. They'll be like, damn, we were hoping Villa could have done us a job there. It's like, who's going to take points off of Arsenal at this rate? Because we're just unbelievable, Richard. We're flying. And so for me, it's a 1,000,000% a statement win. It is sending an earthquake right through that Premier League. And also, do you know what else it's doing, Richard? We've came up against low blocks, we struggle, we get a set piece goal, we win games. Then we've had all these own goals coming in. It's every problem that teams are putting up in front of us, we're finding a way. but there was one way that people did not know was there, or they forgot was there. And what that way was, what we saw against Villa, where we just go out and we absolutely batter teams and give them an absolute hiding. So the message has been put out from Arsenal. Stick in your low block. You might only concede 1 or 2 goals. Come and have a go at us, and we'll absolutely destroy you. So it's a massive statement, Richard, and I knew it was coming. This team are doing everything right. Is someone was always going to get a hiding, and it just happened to be the first ones, Villa. They won't be the last this season, Richard. We'll be battering teams.
Yeah. So before we look ahead to what where it leaves us and what it means for our momentum, I'm going to have a look at 2 post-match incidents. Emi Martinez in the tunnel being rattled by the fans, and Emery leaving the field of play without shaking Arteta's hand. Any sort of thoughts on those 2?
100%. Disgusting, and even more disgusting. I saw a thing that Emery had came out and said it was cold. Arteta was celebrating, so I just walked down the tunnel. And even that is a pure excuse. I actually saw the real-time play. Second that final whistle goes, Emery just shoots straight down the tunnel. It's disgusting. Absolutely vile. You're a vile human being. You were a shit Arsenal manager, and I'm absolutely fucking delighted that this happened. Sorry, Richard. This happened to you, bro. Not standing there shaking a manager after. Did Arteta shake your hand after you beat him 2-1 a couple of weeks ago at Villa Park? Sore loser. Absolute sore loser. Martinez is disgusting, Richard. I actually detest this player. I probably hate him.
I think he's overrated because he's
100%.
He's won a World Cup on penalties with Argentina. I think he's overrated. He cost Villa
100.
Too many goals, especially from set corners where he flaps at them. Right. So looking 100%. Ahead, I mean, it leaves us top of the table at the moment, but.
Yep.
What does it do for us going forward? Will this be the catalyst for us to go and extend our lead over City?
100%, Richard. I think we kick on at this given point. I think we have to just kick on. I want to go back, and I want this team. This team could win any way, Richard. As I say, against low blocks, mid blocks, whatever you want to do. You want to open up and come at Arsenal, you'll get a hiding. So this team knows how to win. Whatever problem you put in front of us, we'll find a way around it and we'll go and win. I'm glad that the blood's been tasted. It's been smelt, Richard, and the blood's been tasted. And I want this team to now kick on and produce that. Like the 22, I think it was 22-23 season, no, 23-24, I think it was. When we went on a madness and just beat everyone. So, it was 23-24. So I want this team to now go and generate that. Go and empty stadiums at half-time, Richard. Go and give me my 4-5 nils.
Where is it?
It's up on Nanny's side. All right. Sorry about that. Granddaughter asking for a power bank. Yeah, carry on, mate.
Yeah, so no, that's it for me, Richard. Just Arsenal just go and start getting the 4-5 nils. And Sunderland just had an amazing chance.
Yeah, so as I wrap this up, where can people find you on your socials and everything? They will be, if they're not already in the description, I'll pin them into the comments after a show, but they should be in the comment section anyway.
Yeah. It's @Mark8_ capital AFC for Twitter. You'll catch me in the Ashburton Grove. You'll catch me. Actually, I'm not. I'm telling you, I've changed my Twitter. It's not. It's at the Ashburton and then GRV. I couldn't get the whole Grove in because of the length of name. So it's actually on that on Twitter. So I do apologise for that, Richard.
That's all
You'll
right.
catch me on there. You'll catch me on there. You'll get me on YouTube, and certainly you're going to catch me a lot more in the North Bank as well, Richard. I'll be doing a fair bit with you guys, and please do like, subscribe, because these guys are amazing, honestly. Richard's putting up more content than Bonnie Blue, and it's actually better content than Bonnie Blue as well.
Well, I don't like bragging myself, but thank you. Yeah, look, guys, we're trying to build a community here, and we want to make it a channel for fans to come have sensible and respectful debates, not shouting, not being stupid, and not spouting the mainstream media nonsense that's out there. So if you want a proper Arsenal chat, proper football chat, come join the community, subscribe, reach out to Paul in the North Bank, myself on Gunner Ritchie 1971 on X, Mark here on the Ashburton Grove. Drop a comment if you want to get on the show and help us do content. If you want to subscribe on the YouTube channels, all those links are there. Come and follow us on X. Whatever, we're grateful for the support and thing. I'm sorry I didn't get to read your any comments out because the StreamYard comments crashed on me tonight. It might be my internet, but we appreciate it. We're going to be out of here, but before we get out of here, come on, you Gunners!
Come on, you Gunners!